Yeah, I just got the message from Lily. She said, "As you know, opening old boxes is an inherent risk." Um, man,
Oh yeah.
all right. Hey, everybody, watch me open here with Keith from I Want More Comics in Thornton, Colorado, and we are night owls. Well, I'm a night owl. He's 2 hours behind me. We just got hip to the X-Men Metal checklist on ePack, and we're gonna break it down with you guys, blow by blow.
The things we know today.
Yeah, this is exciting.
It's Christmas. It's Christmas Eve right now.
What a
So I've been waiting. X-Men's my favorite thing. I've been jazzed up to get here.
checklist is here, guys. We're getting right into it.
What's new?
Some of this we already know. Obviously, we already know that there's the base set and the high series.
Hmm.
Hey, what's up, Spidey? This is your checklist reveal. It's a party. So we got our gold parallels for the base and for the low and the high series. Got the grandiose, got the pinks, red PMGs, green PMGs, purple FX, which are your 101s. And then here's the new stuff. We got blue parallels. We got black parallels.
Yep. It's
These are
looking.
these are these are obviously going to be your combinables.
Yeah, since we know that the base set itself was said that it's going to be only digital only, the base 100, we know that it's going to lead into something. We know it has to combine somewhere, and this is where it makes sense.
Now, my theory is there's nothing to support it that this is going to be a double combinable. That the blue is going to be your first step, and then you'll need so many blues to combine into black.
I think I'm with you on that idea. I think I follow that train because the idea is that putting in a brand new card directly into the pack, it's possible. They've done it, but this makes way more sense in this direction here, like they've done with some past sets.
Yeah, it totally is possible that we're getting a new parallel, a pack pulled parallel, but I wouldn't be
Eh,
surprised.
Nah, I'm with you. I think that sounds right in all this. We're going to be looking at something along the lines like the easiest combines that they've had before were Fleer Ultra X-Men in 2018, like a 5 combine to get to your rainbow. I don't think that that's the mechanic here because of the where the price of the set is, and those 5 combines were also still take home. Those were real cards. So I think you're looking at 10. I don't think it goes as high as 25 to get to your first level. As double, especially if you follow your logic of a double combine.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that. Makes sense. 10 and 5, maybe 15 and 5, but 25 sounds a little out there.
Yeah, feels far.
So the next thing we're looking at, and again, the actual achievements, what you would have to do, this is all speculation right now. We don't know what you have to do. But the first achievements that we see where you would have to redeem cards are going to be your printing plate booklets. So you're
Mm-hmm.
going to get all 4 plates for each card in one shot.
Well, and with 199 there, we looked at the checklist already, and it was missing card number 2. That was not available inside this list. Maybe there was a production problem. That's real likely. But with 199 achievements to earn there, that typically puts you at a level that it's a little bit easier to get to. No achievement in this game is just right at the bottom of the tree, but to hit all that type of stuff, it's pretty solid.
Yeah. So card number 2 is going to be armor, armor low series, and there's
Okay.
not going to be one for that. Moving right down, the Palladium is as we know it.
Mhm.
Nothing new there. 50 card Palladium set, Blast Furnace. You got your 6 Blast Furnace short prints, Arc Weld 22, and then 6 on your short prints. Geodes, you got your 15, your 6 short print, and then your 3 super short print, Magneto, Storm, and Wolverine.
Yeah, 1 in 1,440 packs. Just monstrously long odds.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
And then your planet metal. So it doesn't list it as aluminum, but this is going to be your aluminum, your not numbered planet metal. And then you have your coppers, which are numbered to 85, I believe.
I'm flipping over here. Planet Metal
Platinums, which
was
I think are,
85. Yep.
platinums are 35,
49.
49, and then your golds are going to be 15.
Mm-hmm.
You got your platinum portraits, which these are going to be your big, these are what go for big money, minimum $400. That what I've seen on eBay.
1 in 600 packs.
Yeah, purely periodic. It's showing us all 85 of them here. Some people got a hold of a checklist and were of the mind that there were hidden ones, but these are numbered all the way through 85.
Mm-hmm.
And then we actually have the 7 extra that are in the category called Metalloids: Cable, Colossus, Dark Phoenix, Deadpool, Gambit, Magneto, and the other Wolverine. So there's 2 Wolverines. You got number 82, which is the Adamantium, which is it's actually out of 66. 66 for why, Keith?
66 on Wolverine?
Yeah.
I'm not going to get there. Are you sure it's 66? On the online checklist, it's got it at 106.
No. I'm saying it's card number 82 in the purely periodic, but it's
Okay.
out of 66. Why is it out of 66?
No, I don't know this. You're going to have to educate me.
Oh, because
No.
Avengers 66 is the first appearance of Adamantium.
Oh.
Man, I'm flexing on the comic store.
You are. I'm thrown off because I'm looking at another checklist here for Cardboard Connection, and they have it at 106 available for that one. So they may have an early number that they changed up on that.
Yeah. So moving down, we got our comic cuts, which we already knew about. The signed comic cuts.
Mm-hmm.
They're calling those the Masterworks.
Oh man, Steranko on X-Men 50 there. That's that Polaris issue. Oh, so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Claremont's on a ton of great stories that he did there.
And then here's our next achievement. Comic cut cover 16-piece achievement. So it would appear there's 35 of these, so it's going to be the first 35 to do something, and it would appear that you're going to get all 16 panels of a cover,
right,
of one of these covers.
So some of the monster books there and all this. 53, the Uncanny X-Men 201 there is going to be one of my favorite with the very first appearance of Baby Nathan. But other popular ones there, 266 is Gambit.
Yep.
244 is Jubilee. 221 is Sinister. 213's big fight between Sabretooth and Wolverine. You've just got 451 is the first time X-23 was on a cover. 544 was the end of the series.
Wow.
And just plenty of earlier ones, 65 and under there for that.
Yeah. I mean,
all the way back to 2.
When this says 2, that's going to be the 90s. So let's make sure people know that this is not Uncanny number 2. This is going to be actual X-Men, because some people might think 2, and they, people that don't know comics that well, they'd see 2 and they think that this is the oldest one here. But really, the oldest one here is going to be your Uncanny 201.
Do you think so? I actually want to see it tomorrow. I don't think that's true. I think that because X-Men as a series in the 1960s was X-Men all the way up until issue number 142, where it was becoming Uncanny X-Men. So those could be the original books from all the way back then. I lean that way because if you think about 59, 60, 61, 62, all those in that area, those are big key books that anybody would really have a big chase for if that was the 90s series.
Huh.
I'll bet you that X-Men 50 that you're looking there is that Polaris cover. I'll bet you it is the real deal. 14 would have been the first appearance of Sentinels. Like you have
Yeah.
bigger key issues inside there that match up number wise to that. And here's the thing: when it cuts off at 65, it only went to 66 issues, and then it did the reprints until they came back at 94.
Okay.
I think it lines up those. I think we'll see tomorrow that those might be the 60s books, and none of it is. It's not until you get to like the way late ones there that you're actually looking at modern books.
Wow. Well, that's going to be wild then, and that's why I often like to acknowledge that I don't know everything, and I keep company with people who do know a lot of things.
I get we're guessing today because
Right.
we
Right.
don't have fact on that. But and they did include obviously comic panel cuts from those issues that you're referencing from the 90s ones. They did have those in the Fleer Ultra X-Men 2018 set.
So we're going to move on to our next giant piece of speculation.
Oh,
Uh, and Keith brought up a good point on how he thinks these are going to be structured and what the significance is. And he's looking back to Marvel Ages as an example of how we might see these achievements play out and their usefulness in other achievements.
I think that's our blueprint here. In Marvel Ages, there was the negative achievements where the everything was a reverse negative of the image. There, they lined up that there were, I believe that it was 6 different ones that you collected at that point in time. If you had a complete set of the base, a complete set of Fresnel, a complete set of the different ones different insert sets, they all led to a different one of those. And then the very last one inside the set was when you had all the achievements and you redeemed all the achievements for the final one. So if you kind of stretch those out and say you need to collect all the geodes to get the Jean Grey, I think that makes sense to line up.
Right. Well, if that's the case, then that's going to be a multi-level process, and these achievements might be a good buy if you're looking for the final achievement.
Oh, these are definitely, if they lead that way, then you're looking at a card that has much higher value as an achievement card before you turn around and redeem it. If you pull it off, if I'm sorry, before you ship it home. If you ship it home and all this, it definitely has a collector availability that, I physically want one, but it wouldn't lead you towards that last one that will take all 7 to get to the 8th. Again,
Right.
speculation.
And if that's the case, in terms of burning through packs and boxes to get any or all of these 8, you could potentially skip ahead a step and just poach these from people that aren't going for the master achievement,
Mm-hmm.
and that
But
might be a better route to go.
looking at some of the numbers about where some of those things do, I pick on geodes because geodes is there are 3 SSPs on that are very very rare. If you were just trying to live open boxes on this, you would be at 350 boxes to get all 3 of them. Like they're about a 1 in 115 ish, 116 ish at that point in time because of the numbers inside that 1,440 packs. That stuff is crazy. Like and somebody, it's not going to be many people that are going to be able to complete that entire run. I think that when with Marvel Ages, Fresnel, Word Cloud, those were really tough to get the SSPs out of.
Absolutely. So Jonathan here, the big Fleer Ultra Spider-Man collector, is talking about what if the black parallels are going to be 100 piece.
Well, it's if you're looking at that, if we think that it goes 10 into a blue, 10 blues into a black, he's spot on, right?
Right.
That's where you got 100 base to get to that. The thing is that they also included the high series ones in there. So all the rarer high series are on the same thing. And speaking of somebody who was just recently down the craziness of trying to combine 2016 Marvel Annual into the Reds, wow, it never ends.
And so the high series, you're going to get one in a pack. At most, you'll get 2. And so
Right.
so think about that in terms of combining. Now we get to the buybacks, and there's some notable absences from this list. The ban list is still the effects of it are still palpable on the buybacks.
Mm-hmm. I
I
think that
mean,
God, can you imagine pulling a checklist one? It's so fun to hit like an of 10, but they actually did include the checklist. That's not so quite often that they'll drop that out of there. In the 94 buybacks from Fleer Ultra X-Men, they did not make one of number 150, the checklist.
I mean, I'm personally disappointed that I'm not going to have the opportunity to pull the alternate M Doctor Doom where he's holding a baby running for some kind of office. That's one of the creepiest cards in Marvel card history.
So good.
But there's still plenty of good buybacks in here that are worth getting for. There's that Carnage that's iconic where it's just a close up of the face.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got your sketch cards, which are the etch cards. And we're finding out for first time how many artists did 2, 3, and 4 panels. So only one artist did a 4 panel. Well, one artist did a 4 panel that got approved.
Mm-hmm.
4 did a 3 panel, and 4 did a 2 panel.
Plenty of names I recognize there.
Our very own Andre Osh, Dre Studios, looks like he did a 2-piece panel.
Ooh.
Tim Shin, you can get his Wolverine from Black Diamond on eBay right now for the charity auction. And then here's the full list of the artists that we've already seen, but still good to see that, there's some heavy hitters in here. You're going to have your Liddy, you're going to have your Marcia Dye. The Rachos are on everything. Rachos will do a sketch on a paper towel if you ask him to.
Fred Ian, if you were turning around and chasing the
Fred Ian, yep, both of them. I like how it finally says Fred Ian. We still don't know what Ian looks like. We've seen Fred. He's on Tony Perna.
It's great.
So, Malika Akar, however it's pronounced. So the next step here, obviously, there's a lot of speculation, but there's also a lot of information that we didn't know. But the next step here is gonna be to see confirmed what you're gonna have to do to get these achievements.
Mm-hmm.
And with the checklist coming out at this time of night, I don't see any reason why we could see a release before noon tomorrow.
Yeah, I think if you line up where they've been dropping Unbound, where they've been dropping the Black Widow packs, it seems like that they're very much set up and ready to go for that. Wouldn't you guess that you'd see that noon Eastern time as a real first target for when it probably is live?
So after looking at this, and obviously there's still a lot we don't know, are you more excited, less excited, about the same as before you saw this ePack checklist?
I think that the combinables, like we had talked before, to see that as a blue parallel, I think that could be really cool. I think that blue as a background color does a really good job of highlighting the art to me, and it can look real strong. Black, I would be interested in. I'll have to see. Is it 100 of those to get down the rabbit hole? That is so crazy. That's so much to get into that. But it's possible. I think that the blues will pop better. We've seen that in PMGs. Like the blues just look great. So that part is really exciting. I want to know about the comic covers. That sounds cool. The only thing I would question about that is it's 16-piece puzzle. That doesn't fit in my pages. We're gonna have to do frames, right?
I imagine and we keep using the word speculation, so nobody thinks that we know anything for sure. But that 16 comes from the size of the window that they used on the rest of the set, and just how many of those windows you needed to recreate an entire comic cover.
That makes a lot of sense. And there are binders out there that have been used quite a bit for. Actually, I don't think that they go 4x4. I think they go 4x3. So it's only 12 to a page kind of idea. But there's some they use them for some gaming stuff. But they're real nice stitched in binders. They're possible. So it might be still an option inside that. But it feels like the kind of thing that'll look amazing framed. And being an achievement, if you hit one of those, you're the only one with that cover.
Right.
That's a real unique piece. That's something that really stands out. I think that Marvel was real. Upper Deck had talked about this a little bit, that they were really excited about some of the achievement stuff they had really planned out for the next couple sets, and that could be a home run.
And we always talk about how nice would it look having the opportunity to get that 16 piece panel, frame it, and then have the book that goes next to it.
Oh yeah, that would be a real showcase for your mantle.
So I agree. I'm excited to see what those look like. I'm excited to see what the blacks look like how black is black. I mean, are we talking about the scientists that developed this new black paint where it's the blackest black ever, and it it absorbs all this light? How much reflective is it going to be? Because one thing that you've already noticed firsthand is the ambiguity of the gold as a parallel.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, they don't seem to do enough to pop it out as far as that is. But if they went to how well would you like a pure blacked out background?
well, see, I think because the spectrum of the art used is so wide that the reason we have that problem with the golds is because the backgrounds are all so different. There's not a generic background because they're taking art from different eras. And sometimes, like in the case of the High series where it's coming from a near first appearance, you've got action in the background. I showed you the Rogue where you got Colossus hanging over right there. So in the black, is Colossus going to be blacked out? Or are we just talking like a grayscale almost effect and it'll just be darker?
Well,
Um,
you get to play the game right now. Which way would you have gone? What would you do?
yeah. I mean,
You get to be the man to make a decision right now and all this. And if you're going to order the art down and all this, would you go all the way or would you go grayscale?
I would go all the way. I want it to be like a void. There's the outline of the character and then there's just nothingness. I don't want and if it's from a comic cell, I don't want to see anything in the background. Maybe if it's got like a little bit of embossed, but just wash it, blackout.
You've brought it up, and I think that I almost go backwards to what I say there. Blue could be cool, but if they use a real light blue, like they did with what you're talking about, the other stuff, it could be a little bit of a miss. And so I'm hopeful that the direction you're kind of pointing there is what we end up seeing. That would be stronger. It would be a stronger presentation.
I mean, I'm just looking at some of my golds and how the differences in what's going on in the background. There's not a clear there's no layout for these cards. The only layout is the logo, the the metal logo and the name on the side. Everything else, there's no consistency in how this character is presented and what's going on behind it. So it's really the, you have to do it differently. It's not formulaic in that regard.
Well, and you have the opportunity that they showed that they can go that way with the purple grandiose, right? Like that. That's very strong. That's a full washout. You get the patterning, you get all that, but you don't. They took the backgrounds out, didn't they? On the grandiose. I'm
They
looking at
did.
a couple right now and all this, and they're down to just purely the character. So black lacquer like the grandiose, just go all the way. I'm with you. I'm right on this train, ready to elect you.
I would love that. Yeah. The
Yeah,
only exception being like something that's actually coming off the character, like the energy coming off a bishop.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I Man,
I,
thank you for
I,
bringing up the grandiose because that's a great example of how they've already shown us that they can do that, and maybe that's what the blacks are going to be. Maybe the blue and the black will just be colored versions of that grandiose. Maybe that'll be the foiling.
Oh, that'll pop. That'll really add an extra element here and give you something. You're already going to have some amount of collectors out there that care about their rainbows that want to turn around and get the different versions because of that. But now you'll just have that version that's going to be out there, and that'll really enhance. Again, we all kind of like throw away those base cards too easily, right? We kind of move past them because they don't mean as much as some of the other stuff, but that'll give it a lot of meaning Like that'll be there to chase down your favorite character, and you're going to get really, like I said, character collectors are going to get really deep into that idea.
So what's crazy to me thinking about this is that potentially the way that at least the checklist is ordered, the blue parallel could be from ePack the only low series you're allowed to bring home.
Is that
Like
uh,
aside from gold, grandiose, or numbered.
yeah? And let's see what black means, right? Like you have that, right? And you'll this, but if it does lead, like you said, go blue into feeding into blacks, how many of those blues that you could have brought home are going to get shredded? Now, now we're just looking at this. We're just like, oh my goodness.
Or is there just this endless supply of digital packs that the ePack production is so high because everything's just stuffed, packed to the gills, that all those blues you combine, they figure someone else is going to combine and they're getting recycled.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're talking about the technical side of the business, right? If you think you're going to have to make an estimate as to how many do you need to fulfill orders, and if it's the two-tier stage, I definitely would not print the 100% possibility of how many there are out there, because so many are going to get chucked into the black
Right.
void.
You're talking about for either black or blue.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You won't, it won't be anywhere close to that, because blues will be pulled off and kept as a set. Like I said, if it's combined 10 base, either way, if blue is the first step, I want a blue set. I will definitely want a blue set, and I will take one blue set home. Will I turn around and get more to get up to the black? I'm gonna start pulling out the abacus and start doing the real math and seeing how far we got to go for that.
Yeah. Well, it's we're potentially less than 12 hours away from finding all the answers to these questions out, and like we just happened to be chatting when I hit that refresh button and I said we got a checklist, and we talked for maybe 5 or 6 minutes, and I said this is an opportunity, like it's all about who gets there first with information these days, and for us to be here at near 1 a.m. Eastern on a Tuesday, I think I don't know how many other people are getting it out there, but I'm happy that I'm able to share the news with somebody. One, that there's a checklist out, and to start the conversation, get people's heads going. Because one thing I've been saying to everybody, and I've heard from other people, is that on an ePack release, you have to go in with a strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you have a trust fund, unless you hit the lottery, you got to go in with a strategy. Otherwise, you're gonna be running around ePack like a chicken with your head cut off.
I did
And
it.
when the
I
when the vultures and the piranhas start going for the top achievements, it's eat or get eaten.
Well, I'm back. What were our counts there? We had 35 different
Covers.
covers, and obviously there's 199 of the plates that are available. These are all things that only one person can get. The gold bullions, there'll be multiples of. And
Right.
again, we still don't know how hard they will be to get through all those, but there'll be different ones there. But the other ones, it's definitely going to run out. And
Yeah.
we saw that with ages, with the Crystal Age achievements.
The
That's
double autos.
Yeah, the Mark Bagley set. Only 5 people got that Mark Bagley set of autos, because it wasn't 25 different ones. It was one. Each person got, was it 5? I think it was 5, wasn't it?
Jonathan's on fire right now. The strategy is to set up a new bank account strictly for ePack to hide from your spouse, limit your spending.
I've been waiting, because X-Men's been my thing. I've turned around and knew where I was going to turn around and have so much of a budget. I'm pretty sure, especially if blue to black is a thing, I'm not fully prepared for that. Like I'm not I'm not all the way ready
All your
to get
calculations,
there.
all your spreadsheets couldn't prepare you for a double combinable.
I'll tell you what, I'm sitting there to hope to hit some great sketches, to hit some great autographed ones. Some of the things, some of the what are the metal ones? The The ones that are serial numbered.
Planet Metal,
Platinum.
the platinum and the copper and the gold.
Yeah, though I'm talking about the higher end ones, the ones that like some of them are as low as 3. What was the
Oh, you're talking about purely periodic.
periodic? I'm not going to
Yeah.
collect purely periodic.
There's only 3 of the angel,
Yeah,
and one of them's already been pulled for sure.
So those, I'm hoping those trade into the cards I'm looking for to finish my set. That's
Right.
That's the biggest advantage I saw on ePack of all things, is that you have the ability to be back to where we were in trading, and that's going to be a blast.
Yeah. Well, I think we should both get some sleep so we can wake up early and just keep hitting refresh until that goes live.
It's Christmas Eve. I told you. We're just sitting here just waiting for the permission.
Yeah. Well, listen, Keith, thanks for hanging out. Thank everybody on Facebook and YouTube. You know, I don't do the live stuff as much lately, but we saw an opportunity. We want to jump on it for you guys, for us to get the conversation going. I hope everybody has a great night. Hope everybody ePacks responsibly. And most importantly,
I don't have it. No, you got to go.
Happy collecting, for
Happy
the love
collecting.
of God. Good night,
I'm never going to steal your line.